Sometimes, just one misstep can set off a chain of events that can send shockwaves through an entire community. In Oakwood Springs, a seemingly simple and innocent interaction between a local officer and a black woman sent ripples of tension across the town, because this woman was no ordinary resident. She wasn't just someone you'd expect to see out on a quiet summer evening. She was an elite federal operative, deeply embedded in a covert mission that had already uncovered some disturbing truths. Little did Officer Adam Blackwood know that this encounter would not only put his career in jeopardy, but would unravel a story far bigger than anyone could have imagined. Buckle up, because once you hear the full story, you'll understand how a moment of racial bias exposed a far deeper issue no one had seen coming. One warm summer evening, in the sleepy town of Oakwood Springs, Officer Adam Blackwood cruised the empty streets in his patrol car. He was well known locally for his tough-on-crime stance, priding himself on zero tolerance. But there were whispers, too, rumors of his heavy-handed approach to law enforcement. Locals often spoke about complaints that had been filed in the past, accusing Blackwood of unfairly profiling people, especially those from marginalized backgrounds. Though these accusations were never formally proven, they certainly clouded his reputation. As Blackwood rounded the corner of a vacant electronics store, he noticed a lone vehicle parked at an odd angle, its headlights dimmed. He slowed down, his eyes quickly scanning the scene. Inside the car, a woman with deep brown skin was sitting, scrolling through her phone. Immediately, suspicion flickered in his mind. What was she doing there, alone, in the middle of the night? To him, that simple question was enough to warrant action. Inside the car, Michelle Carter, a federal agent on a secret mission, was waiting for a friend who was running late. She had no idea that her quiet evening would soon spiral into a viral media storm, nor did she expect to be facing an officer who was known for questionable tactics. This chance encounter in the parking lot was about to turn both their lives upside down. As Blackwood approached Michelle's car, his stance screamed authority. Without any greeting, he demanded to know why she was there, who she was waiting for, and whether she planned on leaving any time soon. Michelle, remaining calm, answered simply that she was waiting for a friend. But her composed response only made Blackwood more suspicious. He had dealt with countless individuals who fumbled nervously during stops, but Michelle was eerily composed. Blackwood, recalling the rumors of his profiling tendencies, saw this as further justification for his suspicion. Without hesitation, he ordered her to provide her driver's license. At this point, Michelle's calm demeanor only deepened Blackwood's belief that something was off. She politely questioned the officer's request, asking why she needed to hand over her ID when she hadn't committed any offense. Onlookers, noticing the building tension, began pulling out their phones, ready to record what they assumed would be yet another Oakwood Springs incident. Blackwood's pride flared up, his sense of authority battling with Michelle's calm defiance. In his mind, any hesitation on her part was evidence of something to hide. And as seconds passed, the standoff grew more tense. In a sudden move, Blackwood ordered Michelle out of the car. Reluctantly, she complied, her expression steely but unfazed. As he tried to pat her down, Michelle raised her voice, stating clearly that the search was unlawful. Witnesses captured the entire exchange on their phones, documenting the rising frustration and escalating tension. In that moment, something snapped in Blackwood. His stubbornness won out over reason, and with a quick, harsh motion, he handcuffed Michelle. The crowd gasped in disbelief, phones still raised high. Michelle, remaining composed as ever, calmly said, "You're making a huge mistake." But Blackwood was undeterred, convinced that he was dealing with just another defiant individual. What he didn't know, however, was that Michelle was no ordinary civilian. She wasn't just a woman waiting for a friend. She was an undercover federal agent, on the verge of breaking open a major case. In that instant, Officer Blackwood had just jeopardized his entire career because he assumed his suspicions outweighed her rights. And the worst part, the cameras were rolling, ready to show the world just how deep the problem ran. Inside the Oakwood Springs police station, things were much quieter than usual on a typical night shift. However, when word of Blackwood's arrest spread, everything changed. Officers paused at their desks as Michelle, still handcuffed, was escorted past them. Some officers recognized her face, though they couldn't place her immediately. Whispers began circulating. There was something unusual about this woman. Could she be more than just an ordinary civilian? The rumors spread quickly, causing confusion and anxiety within the department. When Captain Donovan, the head of the precinct, was informed about Michelle's arrest, his face turned pale as soon as he saw her. A flicker of recognition flashed in his eyes, and he immediately ordered Blackwood to remove her cuffs. Still in shock, Blackwood complied, but the weight of the situation hit him like a ton of bricks. Only then did he fully realize what he had done. Michelle Carter was no ordinary woman. She wasn't just some local resident. She was a respected federal officer with a reputation for exposing illegal activities, including law enforcement corruption. For a brief moment, the entire police station stood still, the tension palpable. Blackwood had just arrested someone with more authority than he could possibly fathom, and the fallout was going to be swift. By morning, the story was everywhere. Local reporters gathered outside the station, clamoring for answers. Why had a federal agent been arrested without cause? Was this an example of blatant racial profiling? Social media erupted in fury, with hashtags like hashtag Justice for Michelle Carter and hashtag Reform Oakwood Springs PD quickly trending. Internal affairs moved in quickly, demanding all relevant footage, witness statements, and documentation. Many residents who witnessed the arrest spoke out, claiming that this wasn't the first time Blackwood had crossed the line. Long-buried rumors resurfaced, accusing him of conducting unwarranted searches, particularly targeting minority drivers. As the days passed, it became clear that the Oakwood Springs Police Department was facing a crisis. Was this just one rogue officer with personal bias, or was there a deeper, systemic issue within the department? The pressure was mounting, and the media's scrutiny only intensified. Meanwhile, Michelle Carter had more pressing matters than personal outrage. Her investigation into a dangerous crime syndicate was far from over, and the arrest had placed her mission in jeopardy. Any public attention could expose her identity and compromise everything she had worked for. Despite the personal risks, Michelle didn't hesitate to file a report documenting every detail of the unlawful arrest. Rumors also began circulating that Michelle's presence in Oakwood Springs might not have been solely related to her crime investigation. Some suggested that she was investigating corruption within the local police force itself, a theory that only gained more traction after Blackwood's false arrest. Whether or not these rumors were true, Michelle Carter wasn't going to back down. She wasn't just fighting for herself. She was fighting for the truth. In the weeks that followed, the Oakwood Springs Police Department found itself under a microscope, with Officer Blackwood suspended and facing potential legal action. The public wanted answers, and the pressure on the department was palpable. Meanwhile, Michelle returned to her mission, stronger than ever. The arrest had reinforced her determination to expose corruption and protect the vulnerable. The incident served as a wake-up call to Oakwood Springs, sparking heated conversations about policing, race, and justice. Activists rallied for change, and the town's residents grappled with a painful truth. If a federal agent could be wrongfully arrested, what did that mean for everyone else? Though the department implemented new training to address bias, many wondered if it would be enough. The true question lingered. Would Oakwood Springs follow through on its promises for reform, or would old habits resurface? In the end, Michelle Carter's experience highlighted a truth that can't be ignored. Real justice can't be achieved by looking the other way. It requires confronting uncomfortable truths, no matter how unsettling they may be. And so, viewers are left with a lingering question. How many injustices still remain hidden in plain sight, waiting for someone to shine a light on them? One thing is certain. Moments like these have the potential to spark meaningful change, inspiring everyone, whether they're on the streets or in positions of power, to reconsider how they view others and how they let prejudice influence their decisions.